I'm Vanessa Hua, and I will be reading an excerpt of a short story called Accepted, which appears in my short story collection, Deceit and Other Possibilities. It occurred to me I'd become too comfortable with breaking and entering. Back from field training, I leapt onto the windowsill in a single bound, no awkward scrambling, as though onto a pommel horse, despite my combat boots and my Kevlar. I crouched, resting my hands lightly on the frame. My ponytail bobbed and then went still. In perfect balance, I could have carried a stack of books on my head, a debutante, but for the stench of dirt and sweat. I tiptoed in the dark until realizing my roommates were out. As I set down my ruck, an RA in the lounge shouted an invitation to join a group headed to Flicks. A door slammed, and a basketball thudded down the hallway. From the floor above, reggae blasted, competing with the howl of a blow-dryer. No sign of the dorm settling down Sunday night, not with the last of the weekend to enjoy. Too tired to shower, I collapsed onto the futon for a nap before my all-nighter. A sudden, strange lull descended, so complete it seemed like I was in one of those sensory deprivation chambers that drive test subjects insane. I couldn't shake the feeling that everyone in the world had disappeared. "Hello?" I called out. "Hello? Hello?" No one answered, and I fired up Julia's laptop to fill the void with light and noise. We met fall quarter, after I studied her for a half hour while she sunbathed. Her body, long and lean, in a black sports bra and board shorts, on the lawn outside her dorm. The new one, with spacious lounges and nooks for studying, and where I wanted to live most. Julia seemed like the kind of girl who adopted wounded birds and stray puppies, willing to help a newcomer in need. I told her I had nowhere to stay because of a mix-up in housing. Officials said they might be able to find something within a week or two, but until then, I'd be sleeping in the 24-hour room at the library. What a way to start freshman year. Julia, a sophomore, invited me to crash in the room she shared with her best friend. One night turned into a week, another, and then we were at the end of the quarter, dead week, finals, and saying our goodbyes for the holidays. Without their knowledge, my roommates had aided and abetted me. My classmates considered me no different than them, these student body presidents, valedictorians, salutatorians, national merit scholars, model UN reps, academic decathletes, all-state swimmers and wrestlers, and other shining exemplars of America's youth. The rejection from admissions was a mistake. That's what I told myself after I clicked on the link and logged onto the portal last spring. Stanford had denied another Elaine Park, another Irvine who'd also applied. I waited for a phone call of apology, along with an email with the correct link. I hadn't meant to lie, not at first, but when Jack Min donned his Stanford sweatshirt after receiving his acceptance, a senior tradition, I yanked my cardinal red hoodie out of my locker. Another week passed, and I posed with Jack for the school paper. When I showed my parents the article as proof of my acceptance, Appa held that newspaper with his fingertips, as if it were bridal lace he were preserving on special order. He reeked of chemicals from the cleaners, the stink of exhaustion and servility. Assiduous, he said. His prayed for my hard work. My vocab drills, which began nightly when I was in kindergarten, had fallen to him. For years, he'd been reading the dictionary for self-improvement, and the words we'd studied together coded what otherwise might remain unsaid. Sagacity, I said. I was thanking my father for his wisdom. In June, with graduation approaching, I politely alerted admissions of its error. "You haven't received any notification?" the woman asked on the other end of the line. "A rejection for another Elaine Park," I said. Only then did I realize how ridiculous I sounded. "Could I appeal the decision or get on the wait list?" I asked. "No," she gently said. She explained that those chosen off the wait list had been notified 2 weeks ago, and she wished me the best of luck. All those hours, all that money, the after-school academic cram programs, the cost kept us moving from out of our tiny two-bedroom apartment. Appa put off visiting the doctor until his colds turned into bronchitis and then pneumonia. Uma's eyes went bad, squinting at the alterations she did for extra cash at the dry cleaners where they both worked. Stanford was the only school to which I applied, the only school my parents imagined me attending. When I asked the admissions officer if I could send additional letters of rec, her tone turned icy. We never reverse a decision officially rendered, she said, and hung up. The problem, I came to understand, was that my story was too typical. My scores, my accomplishments, and my volunteer work were identical to hundreds, maybe thousands of other applicants, and admissions had reached its quota of hard luck, hard-working children of immigrants. I'd been too honest, straightforward where I should have embellished, ordinary where I should have been fanciful. My classmate Jack had launched his own startup, sending used cell phones to Africa. If only I'd been a homeless teen or knit socks and mittens for orphans in China. If only I'd had cancer. Thank you.